So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall 2 steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. I'm always excited every time we have another guest come on the show, and tonight is no exception because it's been a while since we've had someone in the health area where you see the Mind, Body, Business Show being the body part of the show. And I'm so happy because it's a rejuvenation for me personally, at being a former professional or a certified trainer for 7 years. And I just was just talking with Mr. David Medansky in the green room just a little bit before we came on. And we met each other some time ago and had a nice chat and got to know each other. And this is a guy that wants to make changes in your life for the better. And I can't wait to bring him on because he's such a wonderful, serving, heart-centered individual. And he's got a great story. So I can't wait to bring him on. Right before we do that, real quick, the Mind Body Business Show, for those of you that may not have tuned in before, it's a show for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. It's designed with the mission and purpose of helping you to find those key elements to get you to success faster. And so I interview and extract these amazing, magical bullets, if you will. There is no such thing as a magic bullet, but there are magical things that you can learn. And when you implement them, get that much closer to success, that much faster. And so what I like to do is extract the secrets of success of each individual. And not everyone has the same approach or secrets. And that's the beautiful thing about this. So one may not resonate with you, another may. All you need to do is model their success. Fancy word for copy. And so it's about the 3 pillars of success. And I learned of this and came up with this concept as a result of studying successful people over a period of about a decade or so. I just wanted to know, what was it that made one person over here more successful than this person over here? What did they do different? Why were they more successful? How did they, what was their secret sauce? And 3 things kept coming to the surface. I'm talking about folks like personal mentors that I worked with that had achieved great success, authors of books, some that I met, others who have written books that are no longer with us that I never met, and you name it. And you go down the path and you study what are the common traits of most of these incredibly successful people. Mind being they all had a very powerful, yet more importantly, flexible mindset. Body literally means about taking care of your body. And I'm so excited to have David Medansky on tonight to help really peel back the onion on that and reveal more about why that is so important. And then that's talking about both physical exercise. I know exercise is a long word, but we all look at it as a 4-letter word, don't we? Really? Come on, be honest. And nutrition. What do we bring in? What do we take into our body, both through physical food and through liquid as well? And business is so multifaceted. All of these successful people I interviewed had mastered the skill sets that are necessary for one to create, build, expand, and scale a successful business. And there are many skill sets involved. There are skill sets like marketing, sales, team building, systematizing, leadership. The list goes on and on and on and on. And to master any one skill set is much like being called an expert in one particular area. And being astute listeners and viewers, you all know that to be an expert, it takes on average around 10,000 hours of exposure and repetition in that one area. The good news is you don't have to master every single skill set that's necessary, not you personally. If you master just one of those that I mentioned in that list, that short list of a very long list of skill sets, and that would be the skill set of leadership. Once you've mastered that, you can now then bring in other individuals who have already acquired those skill sets that you have yet to require, and you may never acquire, because let's face it, 10,000 hours per skill set, that's a lot of time. So why not work smarter, not harder? I actually say work smarter and harder. I like to put a twist on it, but that's for another time. And so with that, another thing I love about the very successful people that I've run into, and we're very, very fortunate because tonight we have with us an author of books. And one of the things I noticed of very successful people is they are voracious readers of books. So this is going to be a great show. I cannot wait to bring him on. Just before we do that, with books in mind, I'm going to segue over into a little segment I affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by ReachYourPeakLibrary.com.
Yeah, ReachYourPeakLibrary.com. Now, for those of you watching, even if you're listening on podcast after, if you're watching a recording or live, doesn't matter. What I implore of you is to do for yourself is rather than succumb to that feeling of I need to go check this out right now and go click away. Rather than do that, I'd like to implore upon you or of you to, rather than do that, is to take notes, actually write it down. I'm actually running this show. I'm in the camera. I'm doing the camera angles. I'm doing everything, interviewing, and I'm going to be taking notes throughout the show as well. So I don't ever ask anybody to do something I myself am not willing to do. And the reason is because the magic happens in the room. David is going to be revealing some incredible, valuable information that is going to give you that certainty to know exactly what you need to do to go forward to right your health ship, so to speak. If you need it righted, or if you already are healthy, to help keep you sustaining that health, maybe even improve it further. But please, for yourself, I would just recommend that you take out some notes. If you're listening on a podcast, maybe you're driving on the road, you might want to pull over and listen to this in its entirety, or save it and listen to it when you can. It's that important. And it's also important to stay in the room because that's where the magic happens. So stay with us, stay focused on David. He's coming on very soon. I promise you, I'm not kidding. It's not a tease. Reach Your Peak Library. What is that website for? It is a website that I had my team develop with you in mind. And I'm not kidding. This is for you. And the reason is I myself did not start reading books voraciously until about 10 years ago. When I was 47, I'm now 57. And I didn't realize what I was missing out on. And then once I started listening on Audible, the whole world changed for me in such a wonderful way. So every book on this website is a book I have personally read and vetted. So not every book I've ever read is on this site, only those that had a profound impact on me, either in business or in personal or both lives. Excuse me. And so you can see them scrolling. I'm not going to go through them all. Don't worry. Just pick one out. They're not in any particular order whatsoever. They not alphabetic, not by author. You saw a cluster of books there by Grant Cardone. I kind of threw them all at once because it was in my mind. I said, put those there. I just threw them out there and said what to put when. But just grab the one that resonates with you and pick it up and buy it and go read it. And tonight we're going to be most likely adding another one to this library very, very soon because of this gentleman we're going to bring on next right now, because it's time to bring on the one and only David Medansky. Let's do it.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is the one. It is the only David Medansky. Woo-hoo. Welcome to the show, David. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing awesome, Brian. Thank you for having me as a guest tonight.
Oh, my goodness. I am literally pumped about this. I'm excited. I worked out right before the show. You were such an inspiration. And we're going to talk, I hope, about exercise versus diet and which is better, or maybe both. Who knows? You have to stick around to find out from the expert who knows because he's been through it himself. That's what I love about David is he's not just someone here saying, well, I think it's good for people. They should do it. I've never been through anything like this, but you should do it. No, that's not David. He's been through it. He's used his experience, his what might be called a near-death experience. I'll let him explain that, to now help others. And that's what I love about you, David. You're an amazing guy. Real quick, I know I'm teasing everybody horribly, but I want to take care of some housekeeping real quick. Above David's left shoulder, so that's the right side of the screen. If you're watching this live or recording, you can see a nice stamp up there called the Big Insider Secrets. And that is a company that has sponsored this show and gives us the ability to give away a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort each and every show. And again, that's compliments of the Big Insider Secrets. So be sure to hang on to the end, because it's only for you that's staying on with us to the end live. That's the only time we announce it. We'll tell you how you can win then. And then one more, and we'll get back to Super David. I'm going to call him David, not Dave, because he's not that Super Dave that some of you know about. So, all right. If you are struggling with putting a live show together and it's overwhelming and you want a lot of the processes done for you while still enabling you to put on a high quality show and connect with great people like David Medansky and grow your business all at the same time, then head on over to carpetbombmarketing.com. Carpet Bomb Marketing, saturate the marketplace with your message. With that, I am done yammering about all of that. It's time to bring the amazing David Medansky on and give him the respect he deserves. Would it be all right with you, David, if I gave you a nice formal introduction and then we get on with the show, so to speak?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. David Medansky is known as the overweight person's best friend because he is the leading authority on how to lose weight without dieting, exercising, or counting calories. Oh my God, he hit every pain point we've all ever been through when we want to lose weight. Cannot wait to hear what this man has to say. David struggled with his own weight issues until July of 2016. That's only 5 years ago. When his doctor told him to lose weight, or get this, find a new doctor, because that doctor didn't want David dying on his watch. Wow, that had to hit you right between the eyeballs right there. During the next 4 months, listen to this. In 4 months, David shed 50 pounds. That's a lot of weight in a short period of time. Almost 25% of his total body weight. That puts it in perspective. And he has kept it off. Now he can help you to lose weight without, once again, dieting, exercising, or counting calories. Bring it home, baby. The key to his success is using his 9 must-have fundamental principles for healthy eating habits. Wow. With that, I literally got goosebumps under my jacket. I am not kidding. I'm not going to take it off to show you because we don't have time for that. Ladies and gentlemen, the great, the one, the only David Medansky. And I'm so grateful that you have taken the time to share your value, your word with our viewers and listeners tonight, David.
Thank you, Brian.
You're an amazing guy.
Hold up
Yes.
the book here.
Hey, I got kind of one. I got like a manuscript size. Mine's bigger. It's good because, for my eyesight, it's easier for me to read. So I appreciate that. Thank you for sending that. That's awesome. So what I want to do, David, we're going to get into the body for sure. Oh my gosh. But what I want to do is start it off a little bit more with what is making you as an individual, what is keeping you driven each and every day? Like when you get up in the morning and there's arduous tasks ahead of you, maybe like writing your next book and how many more words do I have in me, or whatever it happens to be. How am I going to market this book, and how many Barnes and Noble signings do I need to do, and all the marketing that goes with it, or anything else that's going in your business? What is it that's keeping you going every day? What's going on in that big, beautiful brain of yours is what I'm really getting at. What is motivating you? What are you thinking about when you start each and every day as an entrepreneur?
I'm thinking about the reader of the book and how I can convey the message to modify and change your eating habits and behaviors so that you don't end up like I was in my doctor's office in July 2016, where I was told I had a 95% chance for a fatal heart attack. And the doctor told me, he says, I've been asking you for 8 years to lose weight. You haven't done it. I don't know what else to do. When he told me 95% chance for a fatal heart attack, that resonated with me. Now, normally being in the 95 percentile is a good thing, unless it's a death sentence. Then it's not so good. So I took action. And people ask me, well, what did you do to lose the weight? And I'm honest with people. I went on what they call HCG. And that's a hormone from pregnant women that tricks your body into burning fat. And you're on 550 calories per day for 6 weeks. And that's the way to lose the weight quickly. However, it's not sustainable. And I have 6 friends that did the exact same thing I did at different times, and every single one of them have gained the weight back. The difference being is they didn't change their eating habits. So when you go on a diet, diets are temporary, they're extreme, they're hard to stick with, and they're potentially hazardous to your health. And they're designed to fail. So if you didn't lose weight on the last diet or didn't keep it off, it's not your fault. It's the diet's fault. Diet is to blame. And what I did is I was always fit and trim when I was younger. However, with most people, life gets in the way. As a former attorney, I was busy with work obligations and family obligations, and the weight crept up on me. And that's how I became 50 pounds overweight. So I started reading books that I had from the 1970s by Paul and Patricia Bragg, Jack LaLanne, Richard Simmons, William Duffy, who wrote Sugar Blues. And then I started reading books that are more current. And what I realized is the current authors are not teaching the basics. They're teaching selling their products or their services and giving a lot of inaccurate or misleading information. So I came up with Break the Chains of Dieting to show people they can do what I call common sense approach. We all know what to do, we just don't do it. And that's the 9 fundamental must-have principles. And people look at it and say, well, I know that. I understand you know that. Are you doing it? And if not, why not? And then the excuses come out. And we all procrastinate. We all put off until I'll start my new eating habits or my diet on Monday. I'll start after vacation, after the holidays that are coming up, after the company picnic, after we go to our fancy restaurant with our friends that we like. There's 10 different top 10 that I have listed in the book for reasons people procrastinate. So it's important to make a decision, number 1, to start. Number 2, make the commitment and then follow through. Too often people will start a weight loss regimen, a diet, and after 3 weeks, they don't see results, so they stop. Unfortunately, what happens is people start exercising more, and they don't realize fat and muscle weigh the exact same. 5 pounds of fat is 5 pounds of muscle. However, muscle takes up a lot less room than the fat. And so when people look at the scale, they get frustrated. It's like, I've been doing this for 3 weeks. I'm doing everything. The scale's not moving. And I had a client that went through that. And I finally asked him, I said, and his name is David also. I said, Dave, are you exercising? He says, yeah, I'm walking 5 miles or riding my bike and doing other things. I said, great. How do your clothes fit? Oh, they're loose. And people are asking if I'm losing weight. I said, don't worry about the scale. Your clothes will tell you everything. And sure enough, a couple weeks later, the scale did start moving in the right direction and drop. People stop after 3 or 4 weeks. You got to keep going. A diet is like a sprint. It has a finish line, a goal. And when people reach that finish line or goal, they revert back to their old eating habits. However, if you think of modifying your eating habits and behavior to a lifestyle, and it's compared to a marathon, well, you just keep running that marathon. There's no finish line. You're like the Energizer bunny rabbit. You just keep going and going. So it's important for people to understand it's a lifestyle and modification of your eating behavior, and you want to incorporate foods that you like that are healthy for you. So you don't want to eat something that you don't like, because then you're not going to do it. And you want to focus on the positive. 80% of our thoughts are negative. Imagine if you change that to 80% of your thoughts being positive. So turn things around. Instead of saying, oh, I'm disappointed or upset that I'm sacrificed and not able to have, the chocolate, the candy bar, the ice cream, the cake, and focus on, oh, I'm looking forward to eating the apple, the orange, the pear, or having, the nice meal that's healthy for me. Different mindset, different way of looking at things. Focus on the positive, because what you focus on expands. So we were talking a little bit before, and I was talking about the dog story that was told by Darren Hardy, the author of The Compound Effect. And that was one of the books I saw in your library. And Darren explains that there's a man walking to work one day, and he passes a porch, and there's 3 dogs. 2 of them are up and yelping and barking, and one of them is just kind of whining and moaning. And this goes on for a week. So the businessman goes up to the front door and asks the owner of the dogs, is this your dog? And he says, yes. And he goes, well, why is he crying and whining? Why doesn't, what's bothering him? He says, well, he's sitting on a nail. And the businessman says, sitting on a nail, why doesn't it get off? And the owner of the dog says, it doesn't hurt him enough. And that's with our weight. If it doesn't hurt you enough to lose it, you're not going to do anything to change your eating habits.
Goodness sakes. I mean, there are so many bombs of wisdom here that, you know what this is, David? It's what I call a bomb dropping moment. Wait for it. Oh, yeah. Bombs of wisdom, smart bombs, bombs of knowledge. You heard everything you need to know in about 5 minutes. He gave you, oh my gosh. I talked about writing notes for all of you that are watching the show. I implore that you do that. I'm interviewing, I'm part of the show, and I myself have nearly a page already, just getting writer's cramp, and I'm loving that. 80% positive, right? Changing that mindset. That's huge, by the way. People that work out and exercise, you don't lose weight very fast because you're gaining muscle, which weighs much more in a smaller package than fat does. And so,
well, weighs the same. It just takes up less space.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was. Thank you. Yeah, and so you won't see massive growth in a muscle, which will tighten your clothes, but you will see it will happen. You'll have growth in your muscle, which you probably won't see right away. You definitely won't, but it will increase the weight overall when you get on the scale. So you're losing fat and you're increasing muscle. That's why people get so frustrated and say, this isn't working. Well, actually it is. And there's another thing I love to say, and bodybuilders know this all too well. The mere existence of muscle burns fat. Bodybuilders lose pounds overnight because their muscle is consuming the energy that their fat stores have. And it's just amazing to me. So it's a wonderful thing. If you understand how your body works, then what do you think, David? It's still a good thing to exercise then. It's just as long as you know that the key is not to hang your hat on what the scale says. The key is to hang your hat on how you feel, how you look, and then what a doctor visit results in, maybe.
Exactly. What I tell people is 100% of your weight is based on what you put into your mouth. Exercise is very important for overall fitness and overall improved health. However, people who exercise to lose weight usually will overestimate how many calories they're burning and underestimate how many calories they're consuming because they're hungry. And again, they're not putting the proper fuel into their body. It's not going to help their body. Our bodies are incredible machines, and we need to treat it like that and look at food as fuel rather than for comfort, rather than for socializing. So there's different aspects of it. And the number one principle in the book that I'm going to share with the audience is to drink more pure water. And why is that so important? Our bodies are 60 to 70% water, not soda, diet soda, fruit juice, or fruit flavored beverages. So 75% of the US population is chronically dehydrated. There's a correlation because 73% of the US adult population is overweight, of which 42% are clinically obese. The other thing is, a lot of times people think they're hungry when actually they're thirsty. So you need to drink more pure water for various reasons. The next question I'm usually asked is, well, how much water should I drink? The minimum is 64 ounces of pure water. On average, though, you should drink 1/2 of your body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should drink 100 ounces of pure water each day. Now, if you're a bodybuilder or exercising or doing a lot of physical activity, then you need to drink more water. So that's the most important thing. Also, if you drink a lot of water, you're fuller, your digestive system works better, and you're not eating as much.
Yeah, another bomb dropper. I'll save that for later because we want to hear you more than watch the bombs drop. But so true. And yeah, but what do you say to those that say, well, geez, David, that's a lot of water. Am I ever going to be able to sit at my desk or do anything but go running to the bathroom all day? Especially anyone that's like, say, my age or around my age where that kind of becomes an issue. Do you get that often from clients when you tell them about the water issue?
I do. And what I tell them is your body gets adjusted so that you're not going to relieve yourself as often. And I'm a lot older than you are, Brian. So I will kind of resent that you're saying that it's based on age, that we have those issues. So I'm 66 right now.
There is no way that's possible. And I'm saying that with absolute love and respect. And I didn't in any way mean to put you in a certain light, because you're not. You're in a much brighter light than most people. And that's why I love having you on the show and getting to know you better. And you got a great sense of humor, and you're here to help people. That's the bottom line. And it's not that you're just trying to help people. You truly are helping people. And we will go take a look in a moment, if you're cool with it. I want to go down the path more of your website, what you do to provide people assistance on there. The reason I'm bringing this up now is because there are people who have spoken about how David has changed their lives, and they're on his website as well. And that's amazing. He's been interviewed by, top shelf individuals. Kevin Harrington is on there. One of the original sharks from Shark Tank, as seen on TV.com creator. I mean, this dude is amazing. And so many others. You've been on quite a few great shows. And the great thing I love about it, David, is that is getting you the exposure that people need. People need to see and hear what you have to say, because who here does not want to, who wants to stop counting calories? Who wants to not diet ever again? And who doesn't want to have to lean on and rely on exercising? I don't think anybody's saying, "Oh, that's me." No, everybody wants to do it, and David's found it. He's not just a speaker of the truth; he's a doer of the truth. That's what I love. That you can rest assured that if David wrote it, it works that way. And he's got nine fundamental must-have principles for a healthy weight loss. And so you said, and I want to point on this real quick, David, if I might. You said something about if you just follow these 9 fundamental principles, then you can have the success you're looking for when it comes to your health and your weight. And I liken that to business, because what you provided, David, is a step-by-step recipe. All you need to know are the ingredients and the steps to take in what order, and you're going to have success. If that recipe got made it into a book, then somebody made a successful, I don't know, cake. That's a bad example, I know, but I've never made a cake. And if I had a recipe book that had the ingredients and told me the exact step by step, and it was by a well-known chef, I'd feel pretty good about my odds or my chances of making a successful one, having never done it before. Well, what's different about what David is doing? I'm showing my notes, but it's his book. It's the 9 fundamental must-have principles. If you just follow those, then that's all you need. But David, we were talking before we started the live show behind the scenes, and you were talking about, well, if they just concentrated on a couple or a few of the 9 to get started, would you be okay with if I asked you to share what those are and why?
Sure. The first one was drink more pure water.
Okay.
The second one is to avoid highly processed and manufactured foods. The third one is to eat slower, because we all eat fast, and I call it mindless eating when we're working at our computers, watching TV, or even driving. The fourth one is to have smaller portions. What a lot of people don't realize is our portion sizes have been supersized without us realizing it. In the 1900s, the average size dinner plate was 9 inches in diameter. Today it's 12 inches, yet in Europe, it's still 9 inches. Not only that, when you go to a restaurant, the average serving plate is 13 to 15 inches. So what I tell people is get a to-go box right away, cut your portion in half, put half to go, and eat the rest, because now you're eating the right amount of food. And you get 2 meals for the price of one, so you're saving money. So that's one of the, and one thing I like to bring up, because this is about business too. A lot of people, especially entrepreneurs, will spend their health chasing wealth, and then later they'll be spending their wealth chasing their health. So you want to have a good balance. And if you don't do it for yourself, do it for your spouse, your kids, your grandkids, because you don't know what impact you're going to have. Or even if you're, an entrepreneur with a business owner and you have employees that rely on you, go ask them what would happen if you're not around or if you're incapacitated. The other thing is, type 2 diabetes is very prevalent now. It's reversible. It's also preventable. I was fortunate. I avoided the heart attack. I avoided the stroke. I avoided type 2 diabetes. Unfortunately, I have friends and colleagues that weren't so lucky, and so they're dealing with it. And again, I'm attempting to educate them as to modifying their eating habits. And what people have to realize is it takes 66 days on average to create a new habit, not 21, not 30. Research has shown in England 66 days. So people need to be patient. And what happens is they see the commercials on TV with the national brands lose 16, 20, 30 pounds guaranteed the first month. And yes, diets work part of the time. And yes, you will lose the weight. However, it's not sustainable. 90% of the people that lose weight on a diet gain it all back, some even more. So what you want to do is change your eating habits, change your behavior, and change your lifestyle, and do it in a way that it's enjoyable for you. And that's why I wrote the book, and I included a lot of short stories. And there's stories not of other people's success. It's stories with life lessons. And you can apply those life lessons to your eating habits and your lifestyle, and also to every aspect of your life. So I attempted to do my best to make the book entertaining so people would find it fun to read.
All right, it's time. There was so much there, just so much. Oh, we missed the graphic. It didn't come up. I feel like we lost something there. It kind of flashed, but my goodness, unbelievable, amazing. And one of the key elements that stuck out, there's so many, David, that was phenomenal, was we will often do more for others than we will do for ourselves. So make it less about yourself, and now start thinking about, like you said, David, is what impact are you having? What are your choices? How are they impacting others around you? Your spouse, your kids, your family, your employees, if you have them, that are dependent upon you. Who's dependent upon you in some way, form or fashion? Somebody's always dependent on you in some degree. How are you going to affect their life by the choices you're making now, either good or bad? And be very in tune to that, because what will happen is you will do more for that reason than you will for just, oh, I don't look so good in the mirror right now. If you have a bigger why and it's outside of you, I've seen it time and time again myself, being a former certified personal trainer. If they concentrate on other people, maybe their parents, they need to take care of them. They're getting elderly. They need to be there for them. And if they're not high energy, they're not going to be able to do it. So many things you could go down that. I think that's one of the most powerful motivators of all of them that I've ever experienced as a personal trainer. Where does that fit for you, David, in your experience? Is that one of them that's up there, or are there others that you've experienced that really are key as well?
Well, no, that's up there. And what gives me a lot of satisfaction is when I get emails from people saying, I can play with my grandkids again on the floor. I can keep up with my kids. I can participate in hiking or walking or doing physical activity where I wasn't able to do that before. What happens is when you start shedding the weight and you do it in a healthy way, you start having more energy. You feel better. You look better. And then what happens is people start wanting to get more into exercising and the physical activity. So I always tell people is first drop the weight because your body will feel better, and then start the exercising to get fit and improve your overall health. Most people reverse it, and they go make a New Year's resolution, and they go to the gym, and they set unrealistic expectations. So they'll say, I'm going to work out 5 days a week or 7 days a week. That's not realistic with work and family obligations. Do it 3 times a week for 30 minutes, not for 3 hours. Unless you're going to be a bodybuilder or, want to be Mr. Olympic or Mr. Universe, that's a different story, or the Olympics. However, for just overall health, you can do 30 minutes for 33 hours, 30 minutes for 3 days a week. And that's more than enough. In fact, a lot of research is showing high intensity, 7 minutes is more than enough. A couple, minutes a day. The key is putting the right fuel into your body and getting your body healthy from the inside out. The other thing is, just because you're thin doesn't mean you're healthy. There are a lot of thin people out there, and you don't know the reason that they are thin. They may be a drug addict. They may have medical issues, health issues. So don't always judge somebody by what they look on the outside. It's what you're putting into your body.
Oh my gosh, so many great wisdom nuggets there. And what you said about exercising, and it's so true. And it took me till age 57, very recently, to finally just say that what you said is like, I'm talking to myself, Brian, I'm not going to be a bodybuilder ever. I don't want to be one. So why do I push myself so hard when I start exercising? It's like I'm back in high school and trying to bench the most, or, be the biggest and the baddest and all that. I'm like, who am I? I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm here to live better, live longer, live happier. That's it. So why not enjoy the journey more? So I'm literally now, instead of jogging on a treadmill, I'm walking at a high pace and going, up and down. And there's we just got a Nordic Trek. It's awesome. I'm not advertising for anybody. It's just, you follow this guy in Wales and he's walking all over these mountains. I'm like, this is fun. And I enjoy it. And then when I'm done, I get into my office where I have an X3 bar, or band and bar, and it only takes 15 minutes to work out. It's easy, it's fast, and you can build, if you want, you can build muscle quickly with this. And it takes a grand total of 45 minutes, and I'm done, and I'm at home, and I have to leave, and I'm happy. I enjoyed it. I look forward to walking in Wales. It's pretty freaking awesome. So that took me a long time. The male ego was just too, we gotta build big and build strong and build fast. And I'm like, you know what? My knees aren't as good as I used to be, and other things. I've had both shoulders operated on and had to stop working out during those periods. So it's time to just take it easy, have a good time, and then just think about all the great things that'll happen when your mind is also happy while you're doing it.
Yeah, with proper eating, you get more mentally alert, and you don't need the energy drinks, which are bad for you. So that's a lot better. You don't really want to put that poison into your body. You don't want to really drink the sodas with the caffeine. Starbucks is one of the worst. They have what I call their foo-foo drinks. And
I call them that too. That's so funny.
Well, they have anywhere from 50 to 76 grams of sugar in it. If you're a female, you only need about 25 to 30 grams of sugar a day. If you're a male, about 35 grams to 50 grams of sugar a day. And people are consuming 2 or 3 of these drinks with 50 to 75 grams of sugar a day, and then eating on top of that. The other thing is, the average American will consume 3,600 calories per day. You only need about 1,250 to 1,750 calories to maintain weight. And the average, the daily requirements are based on 2,000 calories a day. So people are getting almost double the calories that they really need. And not all calories are created equal. An apple is about 90 to 100 calories. It takes your body 25 calories to digest it, so it's a net of 75. A Hershey bar, 125 calories, 0 nutritional benefit, 0 calories to have your body digest it. So there's different ways of looking at things. One thing I like to also mention is red and yellow are color stimulants. There's, appetite stimulants. That's why McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Denny's, all the other fast food places use yellow, red, or a combination of both for their color and marketing. Blue is an appetite suppressant. Huh. So whenever you get an opportunity, use blue. I use a blue plate, and it's it's a salad plate instead of a dinner-sized plate. And that's how I reduce my portions. And when you have less food on your plate, you eat slower.
Wow. It makes total sense. Every bit of it. Oh my gosh. So what I want to do is shift over to your website, David, and let people know where they can go and pick up your book, number one. And by the way, this show is not designed for advertising things. And it's at my discretion because I'm the show operator. I'm the guy that runs it. When I see something that I know needs to get out there, then I just put it up. And so David, am I going to make money from any book sales tonight? I'm not. I'll say it before. We haven't had that talk. So I'm just here to help promote anything and everything I find that I know can help people. And what David has is literally life-saving information for many people who might have been in a similar situation that he was in back in 2016 with too much weight carrying around, and a doctor that just said, basically he's firing him. It's like, I've never heard of that before. That was like, wow, it doesn't get much more serious than that. So if you don't mind, I'm going to pull up your website and you can have me drive if there's any place you want me to click or talk about, but talk about your book for sure, and anything else you would like to. I want to give you this moment to get the word out to help save more lives. All right. Sound good?
Awesome. Sounds great.
All right, let's bring it up.
So you should scroll down, you'll see what others are saying.
You got it.
There we go. And one of the people that is recommending and endorsing the book is Jack Canfield, co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. And what happened with that is I sent Jack Canfield an email with a PDF of the book. And I also sent him the spiral bound manuscript like you have with a nice letter. And I get an email a couple weeks later from Jack saying, I received your manuscript in PDF. However, I get about 100 of these a week. I'm not able to read all of them, and I have to read it before I approve anything. So best of luck. The next day I was writing a would you reconsider letter when I get another email from Jack saying, I know I told you no yesterday in an email. However, your book arrived. And I was intrigued with the front cover. So I started flipping through it. And as I started flipping through it, I started reading it. And it really is a well-written, great book. You know, congratulations and words to that effect. So he approved the blurb for the front cover. And then, I have other people that are on there. Dr. Lori Shemek has endorsed it, and Forbes Riley, the pitch queen, has endorsed it. Lance Straher, he's won Mr. Olympia, Mr. Universe. He's Dr. Fitness. He's endorsed it. And the biggest one was Kirkus Reviews. It was given 4 out of 4 stars, which is a high honor to achieve, and I'm very proud of that. Dean Cain has also, written nice words about myself. I was interviewed by Dean Cain. Dean Cain is an awesome, awesome person. Cannot say enough nice things about him. Dr. Stefan Neff is anesthesiologist in Australia. He's read the book and he's written a nice blurb for it. James Malinchak has said kind words about the book and myself. So I appreciate that. And then if you look down below, there's a sneak preview so people can actually go to the book and flip inside and see, what is written.
There we go.
And then there's the Kirkus review, so they can read that and some more information.
Fantastic. And a media page, is that so people can book you on their shows and interview you? And
it is, and gives a lot of information about myself in the book. And again, I wanted the book to be entertaining and informative so that people would read it and not only just read it and put away, but apply the principles to their own life and implement them. Knowledge without using it is worthless. So we may know what to do. If we're not doing it, again, ask yourself, why? If I know what to do, why aren't I doing it? And I'm not a purist by any stretch of the imagination when it comes to eating. I enjoy pizza every once in a while. I enjoy a piece of chocolate cake or pecan pie or pumpkin pie. However, instead of having a large slice, I'll have a sliver. And when my wife and I go to the Cheesecake Factory and I get a piece of chocolate cake, not always, but sometimes, what I used to eat in one sitting, now it takes me 4 or 5 nights to finish. So I'm not telling people you're not able to indulge. You can. Certain things I have to draw the line at. I won't drink a soda or diet soda. I won't touch M&Ms. I won't touch a Hershey bar or Snickers bar or Pringles potato chips because I was addicted to those. And I know I'm like an alcoholic. Shouldn't start drinking because if you do, you won't stop. So I'm aware of that, and that's how I look at it. Some people, they're able to go back and start having some of those things and watch what they eat. I know that I'm not able to. And what people need to realize is our food is being scientifically engineered so that it's optimize your cravings for fat, salt, sugar, and texture, and you're never satisfied. And I don't even call it food, I call it edible products. And it's not what it does to your body immediately because we don't realize it. What happens after 10, 20, 30 years that we start realizing the toxics build up, and some of these things cause, the type 2 diabetes, the heart attack, the stroke, certain types of cancer. It's just, a lot of it is preventable. The main thing is the quality of your life. If you can enjoy good health by watching what you eat and have more energy, why wouldn't you want to do that?
Absolutely. And I just put your URL in the comment section so people can easily click on it, either now or later. Don't do it now. Remember, in the beginning notes, I do want to say it verbally for those that are listening. It is breakthedietchains.com. Breakthedietchains.com. And break is spelled the way it should be, BREAK, instead of, I know others will think of it a different way. Breakthedietchains.com, and get that book from David Medansky. He knows what he's talking about. He's living it still to this day. That's what I love about him. He's not just a talking head. He's not out to just make a buck, but I hope he makes a lot of bucks. And why? Because people like David will do nothing but scale his business and help more people with that. He will, I hope David goes out and buys and splurges if he, really takes it from this level wherever he's today to another stratosphere. He deserves to enjoy himself. Let's applaud him for that. Let him have his fun. Go get that second, third, fifth Lamborghini, whatever he wants to do, and enjoy his life with his wife, however he chooses. But let's bless this man and help spread the word. And one way you can do that is simply by buying his book and reading it. And like he said, don't just read it, implement it, do it. There's 3 stages to success, and I talk about this often. It's number 1 is learn. That's when you read the book. Number 2 is do. That's actually put in action the 9 principles he's got in the book. And then number 3, and the most important, is teach. And for you, the simplest way is to say, hey, I read this amazing book. I implemented. I have great results. I recommend you get it too. There, you've covered all 3.
Or better yet, give it to him as a gift.
Yes. And gosh, I know this is a live show, and we are coming up on Thanksgiving and then Christmas. So what perfect time? Give the gift of life, life, and not just saving a life, but of life of vitality, of vigor, of fun, of enjoyment, of joy itself. And so, goodness sakes, David, I knew this was going to happen because I'm very near and dear to this whole topic. And I'm looking at the clock. Going, oh my gosh. So I'm so glad you agreed to stay on for 2 hours instead of 1.
That's fine. Okay. The other thing I'd like to mention is, people go on fad diets. Fad stands for fat and desperate. And the average person will attempt 126 diets during their lifetime.
Wow.
What does that mean for your audience? It means diets do not work. So what I tell people is, if you want to reduce weight and keep it off, don't go on a diet, change your diet.
How many average?
126.
100. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I was shocked.
And like you said earlier, the reason that it happens is because they're designed to make you fail. They're designed to make you come back and wash, rinse, repeat, pay them more money and ingest their products, follow their schemes so that you'll come back and buy month after month after month. Oh, I did it. I was successful for a month or 2. Then I fell off the wagon. I better go back to that because I lost weight that one time. Or, oh, this one looks better and easier and I don't have to. So here's the beautiful thing. David didn't coin a term about a diet on this show. His book isn't about coining a term on a diet. It's about following 9 fundamental must-have principles. He shared 4 of them with you, 4 of them for free. Now go buy his book. I don't even know. It's, what is it, $20 if it's even that? I don't know. He just went on. He's an Amazon. You can say it. What are you already?
Number 1 Amazon new release bestseller in 10 categories.
10.
So I appreciate that. And the audio book will be available late December, early January.
I'll be all over that.
And I'm excited about that. And the most important thing is, enjoy the holidays, enjoy your Thanksgiving, except take a salad plate and just put enough of what you want to eat on that plate. Eat very slow, enjoy the food, and don't go back for more. Enjoy the slice of pumpkin pie if you like, or pecan pie. Just take a small sliver. And again, learn to eat slow. I was a very fast eater. I talk about some of the stories in the book about how fast I ate food, which people find amusing. The one was, we were playing poker one night, or we'd play card games in the dorm, and we'd order pizza, and one of the friend said, Jim says, I had one slice, and Paul said, I had one slice, and Jay said, I had one slice. And they look at me and I said, well, I guess I ate the rest, which was about 8 slices. So after that, they limit me to 2 slices. My nickname in college was Turbo, which was short for turbocharger, because they said I ate food like a turbocharger will guzzle gas.
Wow.
So if I can eat slow, you can eat slow. The other thing is I talk about at the same time, we went out for dinner for lobster tail. I was the last one done eating. And they're like, is there something wrong with you? And I said, no, I'm fine. And they said, why are you so slow eating? I said, I was enjoying it. So I was able to eat slow. I just chose not to. So now I choose to. The other thing is, if you're looking for a snack, raw almonds is a great snack food. I count out 10. I don't take a handful. And then I make it a game of how slow I can eat them. Because otherwise, sometimes clients will say, I grabbed a couple handfuls. Well, each handful is about 100 calories each. So they just had 300 or 400 calories without realizing that. And if you're allergic to nuts, there's other things you can eat as snacks. Cherries are great. Blueberries are great. An apple is great. Avocados is one of the healthiest foods you can eat as long as you don't turn it into guacamole and put everything else into it. So I enjoy food for, the taste that they're pure form rather than, adulterating them. And read labels. The most important thing to do when you look at a package for your food products is not just be mesmerized by the calories, the sodium, the protein, the sugar. Look at the fine print. They make it very small with the ingredients, because a lot of times the marketing, they mislead you on the label and you're not sure if you're getting something that's really nutritious and healthy for you.
I like to say, if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it.
Exactly.
The hydroxychloroquine, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what the heck is all this? I don't even know what half the stuff is, and aspartame and all the other horrible things that are put in. And then we were talking before the show, and I know it's not as true today as it used to be, but when you go into a grocery store, one rule of thumb that I always told folks was shop the perimeter of the store. You're more likely to get fresh, unprocessed foods, injected with steroid foods. You'll still find the meats that are not good. So like David is saying, look at the labels, read them, have a discerning eye, look for organic, and then do your research and find out, is it truly organic? Are there any reports that they're finding ways around it to be able to legally state they are organic? You can go to different specialty stores. They're all over the place. Some cost more money. And then, for those that say, but it's so expensive. And then I want to say, but what is your life worth? Not that you're going to die, but what is your life and your enjoyment of your life day to day worth? Is it not worth that much? Is it not worth improving? But yeah.
Well, what I like to tell people is, if you think eating healthy is expensive, try getting sick. When you have medical bills, even if you have good insurance, it's very expensive. And we were talking earlier, plant-based meats, the imitation artificial meats, they're not healthy for you. They're full of toxic chemicals. So it's misleading when they're saying it's plant-based, therefore it must be healthy for you. Again, it's misleading. And Dina Dietrich played Mother Nature in the chiffon margarine commercial in the 70s. And her line was, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature. And that's what I tell people. Look, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature, because she'll come back. She never loses, and it will bite you. It may not be today or tomorrow, but 10, 15, 20 years from now, you're going to be looking back saying, I wish I had done things differently. And so take the warning. I'm like the ghost in Ebenezer Scrooge. Marley giving Ebenezer the warning. You can still change. There's time. So here's hopefully you get your own wake-up call, and don't wait till it's too late.
Yeah, grab the book, follow his 9 principles. If you do nothing else, watch this show again and follow the 4 that he already shared and get started. You don't have to wait for the book to arrive. You can get it instantly delivered. There's ebook, there's Kindle, there's Audible coming in December. I'm all over that. I've got his manuscript here. I went and purchased the Kindle version online earlier in the week, and I'm going to be getting the Audible version for sure. That way, no matter what modality I feel like going through to read it, I've got it. I can read it. I can look at it online on a computer screen through the Kindle version, or I can listen to it. Just get one version that works for you. You don't need to go through like me. I'm kind of a crazy guy when it comes to stuff like that. But appreciate this all. So David, we're getting to the end, and what I like to do with every guest, I have this one very special question I like to ask every guest that comes on the show. And the reason is because I was asking it because I asked it a few times, and I just started realizing, wow, the answers are pretty profound. They're pretty powerful. This has got something behind it. I'm going to keep going with this and ask this every show for a while, and I haven't stopped. It's been that amazing. And so I like to end the show with that question, but real quick before I do that, I did promise those that were stuck with us live till the end that they could enter to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort, compliments of thebiginsidersecrets.com. And you now, for a very brief period of time, have both David, well, I'll speak on behalf of David because I'm just going to, because you have our permission to very temporarily take your gaze away from the screen, because you'll need to go to a web page. I know I told you not to do this earlier, but if you want to enter to win, this is the way you do it. I'll put it up on the screen for those of you watching that are here live. To enter to win, you want to go to the following website. It's ryp.im/vacation, all lowercase. RYP stands for Reach Your Peak, my company, ryp.im/vacation. Enter to win, and we'll announce the winner after the show. You will get, if you are the winner, you will get an email directly telling you have won and how to go and get your prize. Again, sponsored by thebiginsidersecrets.com. Jason Nass, my very dear friend. This is a legitimate giveaway, by the way. I'm going to bring David back up on the screen here as I say this. It's legitimate because Jason, the owner of the company himself, has himself used this very prize no less than 3 times, and he's gone and quote unquote tested it to ensure it was not going to be something where they shuttle you off to the basement and then beat you over the head with a timeshare pitch for the 6 hours or 4 hours of the weekend that you're there. It doesn't happen that way. It's a legitimate vacation stay, so you definitely want to enter to win that. So do that now quickly, because we got to wrap this show up, because David's going to be mad at me if I run over too late, because he's one of those. He kind of scares me. He's fit, and he can probably take me out. So I always want to be nice to him. And I'm totally kidding here. He's a teddy bear. He's a wonderful human being, or he wouldn't be here helping people like he does with his books and everything that's going on. So with that, David Medansky, are you ready for the $64,000 question?
Yes, I am.
I knew it. And so there's a couple things I just want to point out right before we let her rip, and that is, the first one is, just so you know, there is no such thing as a wrong answer to this question. It's really unique. In fact, the exact opposite is the case. Is the only correct answer is yours. That's why it's such a profound and unbelievably cool question. And the other part is, if you get the answer, if you have it and it's right there instantly, great. If it takes you some time, like the way you eat your food these days, that's okay too. Take your time, come up with the answer that works best, because that is all about being your answer as well. Does that make sense?
Got it.
Right on. So are you ready for this? You sure?
Bring it on.
I love it. All right, here we go. David Medansky, how do you define success?
I define success by being healthy and striving to improve each day. So it's not a monetary success. It's an overall wellness with my body and spirit, and just being a better person and improving in that respect.
And you know how we're going to end this, don't you, David? You know it's coming. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the one, the only David Medansky. He is an amazing gentleman. He is here on this earth to help everyone he can get in front of, that he can physically get in front of, that he can get his book in front of. So definitely go and get his book. I've never pitched something so hard in my life on the show, David. And I'm not pitching because I think this is something that is life-saving for so many people in so many different ways. So one more time, I want to put the website on the screen. Again, it's breakthedietchains.com. Go grab your copy, order it. It's out there. It's an Amazon bestseller in 10 categories. That is amazing. because David is amazing. And I'm not saying that in any joking manner. He truly is an amazing man. And David, I appreciate you truly from the bottom of my heart for doing what you're doing. Please continue to go down this path. You have so many more lives to impact. And also thank your wife for supporting you in this effort, because it's a two-person game. I get it. I'm married, and it takes a big support system. And we all know that your wife is probably the one doing all the work behind the scenes anyway. So give her a big thank you on behalf of everyone whose lives you've impacted and whose lives you are going to impact, if you wouldn't mind.
Thank you, Brian. And I'd like to say my wife is an angel, and she's very supportive and encouraging. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am today, and the book wouldn't have been written. So big shout out to my wife.
That is a real man. I want every child to understand how he disrespected and lifted his wife. That is how it's done. That is why this man is on the Mind Body Business Show, because he gets it from the inside out. Thank you. Oh, that made my night, brother. I love it when a man talks that way about his wife. It's just so few guys that do that, and I appreciate you for doing that, because I'm a firm believer in supporting our why did we marry him? Why did all that? Oh, thank you. Oh, what a way to end it. Beautiful. Almost brought tears to my eyes. I'm not kidding you. All right, on behalf of this amazing man, David Medansky, I'm your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show, and we will be back next week with another great episode. Until then, everyone have a wonderful, wonderful evening. So long, and be blessed. Take care. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.